Morning, everybody. Big weekend for the Yankees. They won 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays. Giancarlo Stanton with an absolutely massive home run. Not sure if you caught the alternate angle. Kind of shows a little bit better where it landed.
Deep to left field. There it goes.
Astronomers have witnessed massive explosions on the planet Jupiter.
Debris spread out for thousands of miles and was over 1,000 miles high.
Hey Derek, this is Aaron from Chicago. I'm loving watching Anthony Volpe play. It's so exciting to have a guy on this team again that just straight up hits the ball, gets on base, steal bags. It's awesome. I'm sure in the coming weeks, opposing pitchers are gonna start trying to attack him differently. And I'm wondering, what you think they're gonna try and do. Like if you were an opposing pitcher, how would you try and, get after this guy that's basically just hitting everything right now? All right, thanks, Derek.
That's a great question. What we've seen from Anthony Volpe so far is that he's driving the ball well to right field. You see balls that are on the outer half of the plate, he's taking them to the right side, which is something he didn't do last year. He was trying to pull everything and launch it into the seats. I think if I were a pitcher, the next step would be trying to bust him inside. As you see right there, though, he can still inside out the pitch and drive it to right field. So right now he's a very tough out. I said before the season that it's highly unusual for a hitter to go from, low 200s to high 200s or even 300 in one season. Hitters just don't raise their average normally 30 to 40 points in one season. But Anthony Volpe, I think, was a little bit overmatched this year, and now he is playing like the player the Yankees envisioned. So I really think that it will happen. I think now my tune has changed, and I think he's going to hit at least 270, 280, if not higher. I mean, this kid looks amazing.
Hey, Derek, it's the save situation. I've been a big fan of yours for some time now. Hey, we have some really good feelings going on with the Yankees, so exciting and much better than last year. Obviously, there's some flaws here and there that we can definitely improve on, but, man, it's been really good so far. So I just wanted to call and show my support. And, hey, you have a great day, and hello to my fellow Yankee fans.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I always like it when people say their username when they call in. Now, you don't have to do it, but when people say their username, it lets us put a voice to the names that we see often in the chat. Now, you're 100% correct. There are going to be ups and downs this season, but you'd much rather get off to a hot start than a slow start. And now with the Marlins coming into town, the Yankees have a real opportunity to build a very strong start. If they can somehow sweep this series, and we shouldn't expect to sweep, as someone said in the comments last night, just plan to win the series. Even if you take 2 out of 3, I mean, that's a pretty good start. You're 10-3, but you've got a real chance to go 11-2 if you sweep this series. Now, we do face Jesus Luzardo tonight. He is somebody that is on the Yankees' radar as a possible trade candidate, and I'm interested in watching him. We got Nestor Cortez going for the Yankees. He's had some trouble in the first inning so far this season, and as I mentioned after his last start, if I'm the Yankees, I'm getting him out there to the bullpen early, and I'm saying break a sweat. Throw your first inning in the bullpen and be ready. Be in that, mid-game kind of form when the game starts. Now, we've had some issues with the bullpen. I think that's something the Yankees need to look at, but there's not a lot of help out there. So the Yankees might have to pick up one of those scrap heap kind of guys, and maybe that's what they're trying to do with Cousins or, with Birdie. Birdie looks good, got good stuff. Cousins, again, good stuff, but it's about getting these guys ready, and they're not static, right? They're going to improve. Some guys get worse, but most of the time the Yankees are able to improve relief pitchers. So I'm feeling pretty good about the state of the team right now, despite the bullpen problems.
Thank you for all the great coverage you've been giving me and us as a community. I mean, you give really good Yankee. I mean, you're the best there is on YouTube. Anyways, I just want to say that I'm glad Giancarlo is getting hot, and he's meant to play in NY. He always responds when we need him to, almost pretty much. But what I want to say is, I've been saying this for years too, we should trade him once he gets hot by the break. We need some pitching. We need it because he has that big contract, so we need to move him, you know what I'm saying, to get, especially if we want a fucking excuse my language, sign Soto.
I appreciate the call and the kind words. Here's the problem with trading Giancarlo Stanton. He's got a no-trade clause, and he has not been afraid to use it in the past. Remember, before he came to the Yankees, he rejected trades to St. Louis and San Francisco, both of whom were trying to contend. I can't see another team at this point even trading for Giancarlo because of the ups and downs he's had over the last few years, mostly downs, and because of his body. But if he stays hot, that's a win for the Yankees. Only issue is, right now, when the Martian comes back, he doesn't have anywhere to play because you've locked up all 3 outfield spots. Now, I have not been super impressed with Alex Verdugo. I do think he brings a lot of energy, but you've also got to bring some talent, right? I mean, he hit that big home run, but he hasn't done much else other than showcase his jewelry. If he's not hitting by the time the Martian comes back and Stanton is, well, then maybe Verdugo goes to the bench. But we've all been kind of saying, well, Stanton, he's going to be hitting 150 in June, and then he'll sit the bench, and then maybe he gets released. Well, he's shown now that he's turning it back on. We'll see how long he can be Nuclear Stanton. The way this has gone in the past is that he'll get hot, he'll get all of our hopes up, and then in about a week, after he hits about 5 or 6 or 7 home runs this week, he's going to tweak a calf, and then we won't see him again until August. That's kind of how it's gone. But we'll see if the new body holds up. I'm looking forward to watching Nuclear Stanton against his former team. Wouldn't shock me if he hits a few more home runs over the next few days.
Hey, Derek, it's Nick. So this year, statistically, our bullpen has been phenomenal. However, it's a house built out of paper mache. One more injury, and it's all going to collapse. Our phenomenal bullpen that has one of the lowest ERAs in baseball might start blowing games if we lose a guy. So we need some reinforcements there. We need some depth there. We do have Clayton Beater, but we got to go out and get someone, at least one guy. And he's got to be a reliable guy. We can't go out and get a Scott Efros.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned Scott Efros because I do think that him coming back to the bullpen will help a lot. He's a sidearm slinger. Those can be tricky, and those guys typically can eat a lot of innings. But he's had some injuries over the last couple of years, hasn't pitched in a while. Don't know how much we can count on him being reliable right away. You mentioned Clayton Beater. He's somebody that I have my eyes on for the bullpen as a serious contender for a late-inning reliever. He's just got electric stuff. Again, though, the command has been an issue in his career. If he can get that under control in the minor leagues over the next month or two, maybe when Gerrit Cole comes back, you slide Luis Gil to the bullpen or you slide Nestor Cortez to the bullpen, you call up Beater, and then you have some reinforcements. You got some reinforcements in both the rotation and the bullpen. I think that's something what the Yankees are planning. They're trying to play the long game. They're going to see who can pitch right now. Whoever fails will be gone, and then they'll get some fresh arms in here over the next couple of months to back up Gerrit Cole because he's not going to be fully stretched out right away.
Hey, Derek, this is Connor from New Jersey. Big fan of your channel, big fan of your podcast. Do you think, in your opinion, that this weekend against the Blue Jays was one of the biggest resurgences for Giancarlo Stanton in his Yankees tenure? Do you think he should stay where he is in the lineup now instead of cleanup?
Well, I'll say that every year it seems like Giancarlo has some kind of a resurgence because he gets so unbelievably blistering hot. And for like a week or two, he will look like that guy who won the MVP for the Marlins in 2017 with 59 home runs. He's not an old man. He's in his 30s. He should be able to stay hot and stay healthy for a while. But as we said, the problem has always been he'll get hot for a while, then he'll get hurt, and then when he comes back, he's a shell of himself. Hopefully the work he did this winter to stretch out his legs and lose some weight will help him stay on the field. I still have problems with his pitch recognition against good pitchers, especially against guys with sliders, but we'll cross that bridge another day.
What's going on, Derek? This is Brian. 2 quick points. First, I wanted to say Luis Gil looks like the real deal. The dude looks like he could be a top end of the rotation starter in the future. Originally, I was thinking that Gil and Clark Schmidt might be one of those guys might be the odd man out. The more I look and actually watch this season, already it looks like Gil just has so much better stuff than Nestor, and I think better than what Nestor's top can be. I think Heel can surpass that. I truly do. So he's going to be a bright spot for the future.
Thanks for the call. You know, I've been calling Luis Heel the real deal since the first time I saw him pitch. Also, Stroman, seeing him right now on the screen, he's looked great this year too. But Luis Heel has an ace-level fastball. He's got a Jacob deGrom changeup. I mean, it's wicked. It's in the low 90s and has nasty sink. His issue throughout his career, minor leagues and major leagues, has been the walks. And that's where Matt Blake comes in. Matt Blake needs to harness this guy. This is where Matt Blake earns his money. In my opinion, there's two ways in which Matt Blake can be extremely useful. One, converting these guys that are, pickups off the scrap heap like Ian Hamilton and turning them into quality pitchers, and taking guys like Luis Heel who have very high potential and maximizing that potential by teaching him how to throw strikes more consistently. He's going to be a great pitcher if he learns how to throw strikes. I 100% agree.
How's it going? My name's Gabe. I've been listening since the 2020 playoffs, the COVID year playoffs. And I just want to say I'm really impressed by what Luis Heel has been showing us fans. Great start in Arizona, a great start today. The bats woke up after the opening day. I just have a question concerning what happens when Cole comes back, because what are we going to do with the starting rotation?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. Those things typically work themselves out. By that point, a couple of months in, somebody's going to probably need a rest. My guess is that Nestor Cortez will at some point need a rest because he tends to wear down in the second half. Now, I know you're not supposed to do the phantom IL anymore, but all he needs to say is that he's got a little bit of a sore arm, sore shoulder, sore groin, whatever. And as long as he signs the papers or whatever and says that he's actually hurt, he'll go on the IL for a couple of weeks, take a nice vacation. I think that's probably what will happen. Now, Luis Heel, I think, could slide naturally into the bullpen because they're trying to keep his innings down, and he's got electric stuff. The only issue with that is the control. You want every pitcher in the bullpen to have great control, but as we've seen so far this year, that's been a problem for the Yankees. That's one of those bridges we're going to have to cross when we get there, but appreciate the call.
Great game today. Big difference from last year. This year we're able to not only get them with the bombs, but we can manufacture runs thanks to the kids, the young kids that are on the team, and a guy like Soto. Really big difference. That's what was missing. My second point I wanted to make was about Cabrera. I think outright the kid should have third base. DJ LeMahieu is not going to come back like he was 3 years ago. It's just not going to happen. It's a reoccurring injury. I don't think he deserves to take this position away from Cabrera, who's earned this position. He's hitting, he's fielding well, and you'll probably get more out of LeMahieu in the long run if you play him as a utility infielder, because he's not going to be playing every day and therefore not stressing himself out as much. So, interested in your thoughts. Take care.
Well, sir, you get the call of the day because I 100% agree with you in all of your statements. Cabrera has taken this job. He has stepped up. He's had big hits. He's hitting for power. He's playing defense. And DJ LeMahieu has not shown over the last few years that he can stay healthy. And, I think Cabrera, this is his time. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do over the next few months because he looks like a legit player now. All right, everybody, call in. As you can see, we gave this voicemail video a little bit of a facelift. Because we're doing so many of them. Everybody's calling in after the post-game show, so keep doing that. And as long as we're getting voicemails, we'll keep doing this show because I like doing it, and it gets me going in the morning, and I know you guys like watching it because the metrics show that. So appreciate the calls, and I'll see you after the Marlins game tonight.